Good evening, everybody. How y'all doing today? I know a lot of y'all still at work. A lot of y'all still doing the grind. And if you still at work doing the grind, if you can hear me, see me, thank y'all for joining me. Y'all welcome to the channel. Welcome. I saw a story today, people. My assistant brought this to my attention. I had briefly scanned it, but I didn't go in detail with it until she gave it to me. And it's a doozy. Her first assignment, she knocked it out the park, people. And what I'm talking about is Mr. Donald J. Trump. Yeah, y'all know I've been talking about Diddy for a few days, so it's time for me to talk about the other one, Mr. Trump. Let me let y'all understand what I'm talking about. Donald Trump, y'all remember he had that big judgment against him, $500 and something million. Donald Trump never paid on it. I told y'all he was accruing interest like $1 million every month, $3 million, something like that every month, because it wasn't paid in full. Now it's gonna have to be paid. So didn't I tell y'all the government don't care who you are? They will come and get you. Repo season in session, people. They done went back to the day they'll repo your stuff in a heartbeat. They don't care if you having heart surgery. They don't care what you doing. They don't care what kind of excuse. They'll be at your house at 3 a.m. hooking up quietly to your vehicle, taking it away from you. And in this Trump case, I'm going to let y'all listen and see how it unfolded. And I saw this story, and I believe 100% of it. And I went and checked it out. It's accurate. So, y'all, look at this buffoon. Look. He can't run his own finances. We know he can't run the country. We see that. But y'all take a listen.
All of the litigation, everything that's been involved. Yeah, they probably owe me a lot of money. But if I get money from our country, I'll do something nice with it, like give it to charity or give it to the White House while we restore the White House.
And here's today's Midday Minute. A second federal judge issuing a nationwide injunction today blocking the Trump administration from freezing federal funds without going through Congress. This is after the president trying to freeze billions of dollars in grants and loans to states, local governments, and nonprofits.
Okay, so this is happening, like right now, while we're talking. Donald Trump, the sitting president of the United States, just had his assets frozen nationwide by a federal judge. Banks are scrambling. Wall Street is panicking. In the crypto market, yeah, it just lost $19 billion in a single week. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, wait, can they even do that? Can they really just freeze the president's money while he's in office? Yes, they can. They did. Look, I've been covering Trump for years now. The lawsuits,
Me too.
The investigations, the criminal cases, the civil cases, all of it. But this is different. This isn't some theoretical legal battle that'll drag on for years. This is real money, real assets, getting seized right now, Doc. But before we go any further, real quick, let's be honest. You can't really trust mainstream media anymore. That's why we built Pump Politics, to bring you real stories, real context, and no corporate spin. If you want to stay ahead of the headlines,
that's why
join our free newsletter. We'll send the news straight to your inbox every day. Just click the link in the description to join. And if you just want to support what we're doing, join us, be part of the community that actually cares about the truth. All right, let's get back to the video. Here's what happened. October 16th, just a few days ago, a federal judge gave prosecutors the green light to start grabbing Trump's stuff. His properties, his accounts, everything tied to the Trump organization. Why? Because he didn't post bond. He didn't put up the money to delay enforcement of that massive fraud judgment from New York. You remember that case, right? The one where they said he inflated his property values, made his buildings look way more valuable than they actually were to get better loans? Yeah, that one. Well, the bill came due, and Trump didn't pay it. Now, let me be clear about something. This isn't a criminal case. Nobody's putting Trump in handcuffs over this. This is civil. It's about money. But here's the thing. When you lose a civil case and you don't post bond and you don't pay up, they can take your stuff. That's how it works for everyone. Apparently even for presidents. And Wall Street? Oh man, Wall Street is freaking out.
Yep.
Banks like Silvergate Capital and First Republic, they're freezing Trump-related accounts. They're reviewing their exposure. They're trying to figure out how much money they could lose if Trump's empire actually collapses. Because let's be honest, that's what we're talking about here.
It's going to collapse.
The potential collapse of Trump's entire business operation.
It is.
Can you believe this? The guy's sitting in the Oval Office right now, and his banks are cutting him off. Now here's where it gets really wild. The cryptocurrency market lost $19 billion the same week this news broke.
Yep.
$19 billion. Why? Because investors are spooked. They're running away from risky assets. They're worried about economic instability. They're looking at a president whose personal finances are imploding, and they're thinking, what does this mean for the economy? And honestly, that's a fair question. Letitia James, New York's Attorney General, she's been waiting for this moment.
Let me stop him right there. 1 second, people. Mr. Cody, let me stop you for a minute. He mentioned Letitia James. Now, do y'all see? Y'all connecting the dots. Now, y'all see why Donald Trump had that fraud case brought against Letitia James. Because he wants Letitia James discredited. He wants her out of her position. So whoever he feels that feel her position, he can brainwash him. Drawing the map up. But the only problem with that is Donald Trump's, you might well say Donald Trump, Department of Jokes. Their indictment on Letitia James is not going to go anywhere. I told y'all that. It's not going to go anywhere. He's just trying to distract from what was coming, and that's this. I've been telling y'all for a whole year and something. Donald Trump is going to have to pay on that loan. That 560, I don't know what it is now. It might be 600 million by now. And he ain't got the friendship with Elon Musk to help him like he did getting elected illegally. Because I swear I think they did voter tampering. I sure do. I think they did. And it's going to catch up with it. But our sitting president can't even go to the bank right now and take out $5. He can't even go to his own banks because his stuff is frozen. He can't go to his own bank and get money right now. Oh well, the government, I told y'all, the government do not care who you are. I just made a video on it. The government don't care who you are. They don't give a damn. You can be Yosemite Sam. They don't give a damn. If you messing up and you ain't paying up, we sieging up. We collecting. I told y'all the government collect. They're good at it. They don't care who you are. Now y'all see they don't even care if it's the president. They don't care. You owe food. And you just like every other food. You finna be a broke food. So people, y'all listen at this. I just love seeing stuff like this. Karma. Comeuppance.
She came out and said her office is ready to pursue collection efforts through every legal channel necessary. Translation, they're coming for everything.
Oh, yeah.
The buildings, the golf courses, the Mar-a-Lago property, all of it. This is the woman who brought the fraud case in the first place. She's been saying for years that Trump's business practices were shady, that he lied about his wealth, that he cheated the system.
He did.
And now she's got a court order saying she can actually do something about it. So here's where we are. You've got a sitting president facing asset seizures, while banks distance themselves, while markets tank, while his political opponents are practically dancing in the streets. Democrats are already calling this financial chaos. They're saying it proves Trump can't manage money, so how can he manage the country? Republicans?
Exactly right. He can't handle his own finances. If he can't handle his own finances, how can he handle the country's finances? He can't. We see that already. Yeah, I told y'all about 3 weeks ago, maybe a month or better. Donald Trump, no, that was the other day. I told y'all Donald Trump is going to have to see Letitia James again. Did I tell y'all that? Funneybone be knowing before it happened. Donald Trump's so predictable. So predictable. I knew something was coming up with Letitia James. And I told my subscribers, I said, that ain't going nowhere. They was all worried. Letitia James done did fraud. And then all the MAGA and Donald Trump jumped on him. Look at Letitia James. She had it in for Donald Trump. She had it in for Donald Trump. She said she was going to get Donald Trump. And look at her. She committed fraud. She ain't committed no fraud, nothing. The one that you kissing is behind. That's who been committing fraud for 30 years. 30 years. Donald Trump ain't been honest yet. In his lifetime, I don't believe he done told the truth. I don't believe it. But yeah, he tried to come up with Letitia James. Tried to get Letitia James out the way, but it didn't work. Did not work. And now, who do he have to face? Letitia James. And y'all heard what he said. She already done said she coming after everything, including Mar-a-Lago. So where is Donald Trump going to camp out next? He better go to Russia somewhere where he accept it. He said Russia loves him. Vladimir Putin don't even want to see Donald Trump right now. Period. He messed that up. Donald Trump has messed up everything he put his hands on. Name me something that Donald Trump did that was successful. A successful business. He want to bring up the prince. They been took that out there. But they found out how sleazy he was. Yeah, he ain't gonna tell the whole truth. But people, our president can't even go buy a Big Mac and swipe his card. I love it. I love it.
Oh, they're staying quiet. Real quiet. Because what are they supposed to say? How do you defend this? And the timing, come on. The timing is insane.
Yep.
We're heading into the 2026 midterms. This story is going to dominate the news cycle for months. Every campaign ad, every debate, every political conversation is going to come back to this. A president with frozen assets while in office. I've been doing this a long time. I've covered a lot of crazy political stories. But this might be the craziest. Because it's not just about Trump anymore. It's about what happens when a president's personal financial crisis becomes a national economic concern. The stock market is already jittery. Inflation concerns haven't gone away. Interest rates are still elevated. Global tensions are high. And now you throw this into the mix? A president fighting off financial ruin? Yeah, investors don't like that kind of uncertainty. Think about the optics for just a second. Foreign leaders are watching this. They're seeing an American president, the leader of the free world, having his bank accounts frozen. What message does that send? What does that do to America's credibility on the world stage? And domestically, this is ammunition for every Trump critic out there, every late night talk show, every political pundit, every opposition researcher. They're going to use this as proof that Trump was always a fraud, that his business empire was built on lies, that he was never as rich as he claimed. Whether that's fair or not, that's the narrative that's forming right now in real time. So yeah, buckle up, because we're about to break down exactly how we got here, what it means, and where this is all heading. And trust me, it's going to get messy. Let's dive in.
People, if y'all believe this story, and I'm telling you right now, it's 100% facts. If y'all believe this is true, and you know Donald Trump can't pull pee out of a boot, put a 1 down there. If you think Donald Trump, this is some kind of, mistruth or untruth, y'all put a 2 down there and say, we don't think this story is valid or legitimate. Put a 2 down there. Y'all welcome to do either one. But Funneybone will tell you right now, it is legitimate. This ain't like the illegitimate children y'all made. This is legitimate. Yeah, this happening as we speak. Ask Donald Trump to let you see his card and try to buy something with it. Anybody close to Donald Trump, get one of his cards and try to spend some money on it and see what happens. I love every bit of it. Every minute of it, I love it.
Alright, so let's rewind a bit. Because if you're just tuning into this story, you might be confused. You might be thinking, wait, wasn't Trump already dealing with legal stuff? Didn't he already have cases? Why is this one different? Good questions. Let me explain. This all goes back to a civil fraud case in New York. Started years ago, The Attorney General's office, Letitia James, she launched an investigation into the Trump organization. What they found? Allegedly, Trump and his company inflated the value of his properties, made them look worth way more than they actually were. Why would anyone do that? Simple. Better loans, better insurance rates, better deals. If your building is worth $500 million instead of $200 million, banks give you better terms. Insurance companies charge you less. You look richer than you are. Now here's the thing most people don't understand about this case. It's not criminal. Trump's not going to jail over this. But civil cases, it can hurt you just as bad, because when you lose a civil fraud case, they hit you where it really hurts. Your wallet. The judgment? Hundreds of millions of dollars. The exact number's been bouncing around, but we're talking massive, life-changing money, empire-threatening money. And normally, when you lose a case like this, you can appeal, you can fight it. But here's the catch. To appeal and delay enforcement, you gotta post bond. You gotta put up the money or collateral to show you're good for it while the appeal plays out. Trump didn't do that, or couldn't do that. Pick your theory. So on October 16th, just last week, a federal judge said, okay, enough, time to collect, and gave prosecutors the authority to start seizing assets nationwide. Nationwide. Think about that for a second.
Nationwide.
That means properties in New York, properties in Florida, golf courses in Scotland, hotels in Chicago, bank accounts, investment accounts, everything. All fair game. And Wall Street? Oh man, Wall Street started losing its mind immediately. See, banks don't like uncertainty. They really don't like it when one of their clients, especially a high-profile one, is facing asset seizures. Because suddenly they're thinking, wait, do we have exposure here? Are we going to lose money? Should we protect ourselves? Silvergate Capital and First Republic Bank. They reportedly started freezing or reviewing Trump-related accounts. Now, these aren't tiny banks. These are real institutions. And when they start moving away from a client, other banks notice. Other investors notice. It's like, you know, when someone at a party suddenly backs away from another person, and then everyone else starts backing away too? That's what's happening here. Financial institutions are creating distance. Can you believe this? A sitting president is basically getting financially blacklisted by major banks. And then there's the crypto market. $19 billion gone in 1 week.
Wow.
Now, some people might say, wait, what does Trump's legal trouble have to do with cryptocurrency? Fair point. But here's how markets work. When there's uncertainty, especially political uncertainty, involving a president, investors get nervous. They pull money out of risky assets. Crypto is definitely a risky asset. So you had this perfect storm. News breaks about Trump's assets getting frozen. Investors freak out. They start wondering, is this going to cause broader economic problems? Is this going to affect policy? Is this a sign of instability? And boom, $19 billion evaporates. Here's what really gets me though, the political implications. Because this isn't just a legal story or a financial story anymore. This is the story that's going to define the next election cycle. Democrats are already all over this. They're saying, look, this is what happens when you elect someone who can't manage their own money. How's he supposed to manage the country's money? It's the perfect attack line. Simple, devastating, hard to defend. And Republicans, oh, they're in a tough spot. Because what do you say? How do you spin your guy, the sitting president, having his assets seized? You can't really claim it's a witch hunt when there's an actual court judgment. You can't say it's fake news when banks are literally freezing accounts. Some Republicans are trying to blame Letitia James, saying she's politically motivated, saying this is all about taking down Trump. And yeah, maybe there's some truth to that. James has never hidden the fact that she thinks Trump's business practices were fraudulent. But here's the thing, courts agreed with her. Judges who looked at the evidence said, yeah, there's fraud here. So even if James had political motivations, the case itself had merit. That's how the legal system works. And now we're in this bizarre situation where the president of the United States is fighting a financial battle while trying to run the country. Think about the optics. Think about what world leaders are thinking right now. Imagine you're a foreign president. You're supposed to meet with Trump next week about a trade deal. And you're reading news reports that his assets are being seized, that his banks don't want to work with him anymore. What are you thinking? Are you taking him as seriously? Do you trust his judgment? Do you think he's focused on the meeting or focused on his legal problems? This is wild, like genuinely unprecedented. And here's another angle most people aren't talking about. Investor confidence. See, the stock market, the economy, a lot of it runs on confidence. People invest when they feel confident. Businesses expand when they feel confident. When that confidence gets shaken, things can go south fast. We saw this in 2023. Remember the banking panic? Silicon Valley Bank collapsed. People freaked out. Markets tanked. Why? Because confidence evaporated. Now we've got a president with frozen assets. Banks distancing themselves. Markets already shaky. and everyone's wondering what happens next. Some economists are saying this could accelerate an ongoing confidence crisis, that Wall Street's reaction could trigger broader problems. Others are saying it's contained, that Trump's personal finances don't really affect the broader economy. Honestly, nobody really knows, because we've never been here before. We've never had a sitting president in this exact situation. What we do know is this: Letitia James is ready to move. She's got court approval, she's got public support from her base, and she's been very clear that she intends to collect every dollar of that judgment. So where does that leave Trump? Well, he's got options. He can try to appeal. He can try to negotiate. He can try to move assets around, though that gets legally dicey real fast. Or he can pay up. But here's the problem. If he had the money to pay up, wouldn't he have posted bond already?
Yep.
The fact that he didn't, that tells you something. Either he doesn't have the liquid cash, or he's choosing not to use it, or something else is going on that we don't know about yet. And that uncertainty, that's what's freaking everyone out.
People, didn't I tell y'all Donald Trump was a screw up in every single way? In every single way. Name one way that Donald Trump has succeeded in anything except rigging his election and winning. Other than that, what has he succeeded in done? Absolutely nothing but create chaos. His own personal finances in chaos. We knew that. We knew how he got back in office. We know the voters put him back in there over this case that Letitia James won. We know that. But the chickens are coming home to roost. That frivolous fraud case that you got against Letitia James, that whole about must weight as a feather. Now, the proven evidence is against who? Donald Trump. He never did settle this fraud case. He can't. He don't have the money to do it. They wouldn't let Elon Musk, nobody else do it for him. He had to do it out of his own money. And he didn't have it. And I know what y'all think. Instead of him asking Elon Musk to help him with their election, why the hell he didn't ask Elon Musk to help with all these money that he owed? He couldn't get money from nobody else to do it. Nobody else. He's gonna pay that. So if y'all employees that down there at Mar-a-Lago, if one of y'all done subscribe to Funneybone, y'all spread the word that if you ain't watching the news, y'all can watch the Homeboy News. And the Homeboy News saying, y'all better get y'all stuff, pack it up real fast, and get the hell out of there. Because you don't want to be there when they bolting the doors. Because they take pictures of people that's there. So you might want to cover your face, put a paper bag over your head or whatever if y'all plan on being there when they come. Because y'all don't want to be identified. I wouldn't. No. But yeah, y'all hearing it right. They freezing Donald Trump assets. And they freezing it nationwide. Not just in New York, not just in Florida, but everywhere Donald Trump's got property. Everywhere he got a bank account. All that's going to be turned over. All that's getting ready to be turned over, people. Yeah, I told you the government don't play, people. Y'all believe me now? Do y'all believe me? Government don't play. When they say you're going to pay, you're going to pay. Point blank period. They don't care who you are. Richest man in the world, Elon Musk. If they was to get Elon Musk in a compromising position, they will freeze all his assets too. No matter how much you got, it can be frozen, but you won't be able to get a pen out of it. So people, I wonder, is this going to make Donald Trump go back into that salesman mentality like he had? The goofy salesman where he's selling cuff links, pieces of his suit, baseball cards, superhero cards with him with a big T in the chest. The T must stand for toss it out. That's what it should stand for. But anyway, people, yeah, Donald Trump still frozen. he ain't gonna be able to buy Melania nothing for Christmas. That's what it seemed like. I hope she like Hallmark cards, cause I think that's all she'll get with maybe $1 in there.
Let me give you another perspective on this, the legal mechanics, because a lot of people think, okay, they can seize his assets, but how does that actually work? Well, first, prosecutors have to identify what Trump owns. That sounds simple, but it's not. Trump's business empire is complicated. Shell companies, trusts, international holdings. It's a maze, and everything has to be documented and verified. Then they have to get specific court orders for each asset. You can't just walk into Trump Tower and say, this is ours now. There's a legal process, filings, hearings, potential challenges from Trump's lawyers, and then there's the actual seizure for real estate. That means liens and potential forced sales. For bank accounts, that means freezes and transfers. For businesses, that could mean putting them under court supervision. This process takes time, months, maybe years, and at every step, Trump can fight. He can file motions, he can appeal, he can drag it out. But here's the thing, even if he drags it out, the damage is already done, the headlines are out there, the banks are spooked, the investors are nervous, you can't unring that bell, and every step of this process generates more headlines, more news coverage, more political ammunition for his opponents. That's the reality Trump is facing right now, a legal and financial nightmare that's playing out in public with massive political consequences while he's trying to run the country. Yeah, it's a lot. Okay, so let's break this down into simple points. What's actually happening, why it matters, and what comes next. Point 1. Donald Trump lost a massive civil fraud case in New York. The judgment is hundreds of millions of dollars. He didn't post bond to delay enforcement, so now prosecutors can seize his assets. That's the core story. Everything else flows from that. Point 2. Wall Street is reacting. Banks are freezing accounts. The crypto market lost $19 billion. Investors are nervous. Why? Because presidential financial chaos creates economic uncertainty. And here's why that matters. The economy is already on shaky ground. Inflation's still a concern. Interest rates are high. Global markets are unstable. Adding presidential drama on top of that? Not great. Think about it like this. If you're a business owner trying to decide whether to expand, hire more people, make investments, you want stability. You want to know that the political environment is predictable. When the president is fighting off asset seizures, that's not stable. That's chaos. Point 3. The political implications are huge. Democrats have their attack line for 2026. Financial chaos. Can't manage money. Can't manage the country. It's simple. It's effective. It's going to be everywhere. And Republicans, they're going to have to defend this. Every campaign, every debate, every interview, they're going to get asked, do you support a president whose assets are being seized? Do you think that's appropriate? Do you think he can still do the job? Those are brutal questions.
Never could.
There's no good answer. Some Republicans will probably distance themselves. Quietly, they'll stop mentioning Trump as much. They'll focus on local issues. They'll try to make their campaigns about anything other than the president. Others will double down. They'll say it's a witch hunt, political persecution, the deep state attacking Trump. And yeah, that message works with the base. But does it work with moderates, with independents?
That's right.
That's the real question. Point 4. What happens next? Well, prosecutors are going to start the seizure process. That means identifying assets, getting court orders, actually taking control of properties and accounts. This isn't fast. It's not like they flip a switch and suddenly Trump's stuff disappears. It's a process. Could take months, maybe years if Trump fights it at every step. But here's what's interesting. Every step of that process is going to be news. Every property seized, every account frozen, every legal filing. All of it is going to generate headlines. So this story isn't going away. It's going to be part of the daily news cycle for a long time.
It is.
And that creates problems for Trump politically. Because even if he eventually wins on appeal, even if he gets some of his assets back, the damage is done. The image is set. A president fighting off financial collapse. Now, let's talk about what this means for regular people. Because you might be thinking, okay, this is all very dramatic, but what does it have to do with me? Fair question. Here's the answer. If Trump's financial crisis triggers broader economic instability, that affects everyone. Market crashes affect retirement accounts. Banking problems affect loans and mortgages. Economic uncertainty affects jobs. So yeah, this isn't just about Trump. It's about whether his personal problems become national problems. And there's another angle, accountability. See, for years, people have been arguing about whether rich people play by different rules.
They do.
Whether powerful people can get away with stuff that regular folks can't. This case is a test of that. Can a sitting president avoid consequences for civil fraud? Can he ignore court judgments? Or does the legal system actually work? If Trump successfully avoids paying, if he finds a way around this, that sends one message: the rules don't apply to everyone. If prosecutors actually collect, if they seize the assets and enforce the judgment, that sends a different message. Nobody's above the law.
Yep.
Which message wins? We're about to find out. Let me give you another angle on this. International perception. How other countries see us. Because right now, foreign leaders are watching this. They're seeing an American president with frozen assets, banks cutting ties, legal...
People, you think these leaders ain't keeping up? They already know Donald Trump's a screw up. This ain't nothing new to them. They probably know to this magnitude that he was this big a screw up, but they already knew Donald Trump was a screw up, was brainless. They already knew that. They knew that. So it ain't gonna be no big shock to none of the other presidents that have met and sat down with Donald Trump. They know what Donald Trump is all about. They know he's a fraudster. Can't pay his bills. Not that big old bill. I don't know who, except for the richest of the rich, can pay stuff like that. But people, what's done in the dark gonna come to the light. I told y'all all this long time. They're gonna catch up with Donald Trump. They're working every day. And then I see where his impeachment is gaining steam. See, he only got so many MAGA left in those positions. Everybody else waking up. Yeah. Donald Trump feeling in every way. Then he up there trying to act like he cool. He don't know if he should pardon Diddy or not. He said Diddy ain't rich enough. That's a felony right there. He said Diddy ain't rich enough for no pardon. Fool, neither are you. Did you say that before you know your access was seized? Did you know your access was seized when you were trying to be a big man? I remember back when you was trying to endorse your products and they had a liquidation sale all at the same time. That was the first time that ever happened. You endorsing that stuff and they giving it out. So people, Donald Trump is the worst and the biggest screw up of anybody who have led anybody. And I told y'all 2, 3, 4 months ago, Donald Trump don't have no business leading a county in this country, let alone this country. He can't handle his own bill that he created with fraud. He ain't had the nerve to try to implicate the woman that's going after him for his fraud, Letitia James. And now look who's got to be in charge of seizing his stuff. That same Letitia James. So we see why Donald Trump was doing what he was doing with Letitia James. That didn't go nowhere. You see who's still in charge of his stuff, don't you? It's Letitia James. So people, I saw this. Thanks to the sense that I saw this. Y'all hit the thumbs up. Y'all subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. Because Funneybone gonna keep y'all in the loop. I told y'all Funneybone gonna keep y'all in the know. I'm gonna keep you informed, people. Donald Trump ain't got our water to cry with. That's the top story of the day. Funneybone love y'all. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Y'all have a lovely